Y'all gonna see now. Y'all gonna listen. And everything I say is 100% real. 100% real. Can no one say that's a lie? Like I said, this is my life. This is my story. So I'm not too worried about the comments. I ain't worrying about that, none of that. Like I said, this is my story. Y'all could. I'm gonna leave it on anyone else. It's not for me to judge or no one. It's for Like I said, I'm gonna just put it out there. Y'all judge who y'all want. Y'all can say what y'all want to say, and feel offended because maybe one of y'all family members will come up. I got a lot of uncles. Like I said, I've been through a lot, and a lot of it it's a lot of it came through the way I grew up as a kid, with my family, with my uncles, with my stepfathers, with my cousins. It was tough for me, man. So I became an evil person. I became the person that I was. But they don't realize that they made me like that. They did that to me. All right, that's it. Right, I'm be honest, y'all. I'm trying to smoke a cigarette. My nerves are messed up. And boom, man. Every time it's something, man. Every single time. Okay. I was able to lit up a cigarette. I don't even smoke no more like that. I just got diagnosed with OCPD. Man, so I gotta stop smoking. But my nerves are wrecked, man. My nerves are wrecked. My nerves been wrecked since last night. I ain't been able to sleep. So yeah, like I said, just bear with me, man. I'm gonna give y'all my story, right? I don't know how many people watching. I just hope that you're watching. This is real. Y'all ready? I'm ready. Let me make sure my most important camera is on. Yeah, we good. Let's go. All right. I know I ain't even supposed to be smoking in here. But at this time, look, my nerves are messed up, whatever. Everybody else is smoking in their room, so it's whatever. I'm being honest. All right, let me put this out. Smoking a cigarette, man. I can't believe I'm smoking a cigarette. My nerves are messed up. And I don't got no vape. This vape sent me to the hospital, vaping. With that vaping, that sent me straight to the hospital. Whoa, I'm nervous. Here's the thing, that's why I'm doing this live, to practice, so that I won't get nervous. So I'll stop taking a lot of these videos down. Cause after I watch them, I'll be like, nah. I'm worrying about what everybody else think, but this is my story. I'm 50 years old, man. It took me a lot to get here. Most people, they won't even make it, man. They would have been broke down. If they know what I've been through, they would have been broke down, yo. Most people can't even make it to where I've been. Oh, man. Got my little Bible. This lady, she teaching me how to read. She got a little ranch, with horses and stuff. That was a blessing. I met her yesterday. So she gave me this book. So I could start learning how to read. She come on Mondays, and we go to the library, and she gonna start teaching me how to read. And that means a lot to me. I should have been done that. I always thought it was too late. And I've been saying that since my 20s. It's too late already. I would have been probably graduated from school, being real. I probably would have been graduated. It's never too late, man. Ain't nothing never too late. Ain't no dream ever too big. It don't matter. It don't matter if you got money or not. Everything will come. God will put it all for you. But I put all my trust in God. And I don't trust no one. I have a hard time trusting people. But I ain't been having a hard time trusting the Lord. Because he showed up for me. He showed up. And you know when you feel that person right there face to face breathing up on your face? That's what I felt. That was special to me. Took my heart right there and then. That was my first love. He took it all. He come first. And I'm still working on myself because I'm broken, man, and I'm real broken in pieces, like a puzzle. I gotta be put together. But even puzzles get put together, right? Ain't nothing ever impossible. This movement I'm doing, I want to share my life with the world. My life, my son, and my whole story. To be honest, I have faith that's gonna be big. I have watched a lot of movies out there. They ain't even close to my story. Not even close. And everybody got their own story. You know, everybody got their story, like I said. But this is my story. So I don't want to offend nobody, and I'm not mentioning no names. But you don't know who I'm talking to. You know? I'm gonna do this the right way. I gotta do this for me. I'm not doing this for y'all. I'm doing this for myself and my family. Because by me letting go of this pain, I could pick up peace. And you can't carry both. Right now, I'm still holding on to my pain. So I can't find my peace. I'm still trying, looking for it. Believe me, walking with the Lord, one thing that keeps my faith is so strong, my belief is so powerful, and feeling him show up for me was even more powerful. Being up here in these mountains, it's a blessing. I feel every blessing. I feel him. I feel his presence. And I know it's so powerful because he has showed me in every way he can that he's around. It's just not on my time. It's on his time. And I'm learning to work with that because I'm used to making things on my time. When I want them done, you know, on my time and on my time it's going to be. I'm used to that, you know, and pushing it through. And that's how I lived my whole life. I remember when I was a kid, I used to be playing around them kids game, and we used to pick cars. That's my car. Oh, that's my car. And I used to be a dreamer. My number one dream was being a big time drug dealer. And when I made it there, it wasn't so happy. It drove me crazy, to be honest. It's not a good role. Some people make it out, some people don't. Me, I was trying to buy my happiness all the way around. It didn't work. All them $20,000 watches, $50,000 chains, $100-something thousand car, and all them fancy toys that I had, and all them apartments and houses and everywhere and all that, it didn't make me not one bit happy. But this right here is what's breaking it. Is what's breaking that cycle. And it's taking some work. I'm like in boot camp right now. To be honest, I'm like in a boot camp. Working. Falling, getting back up. And falling for real. And getting back up and keep on going. Just the other day I was in the hospital. I couldn't breathe. The next day I was out and going. This is the first day I actually got the rest and stood in. And let my wife handle the kids. And took some time alone. And all day today I've been inside doors. I ain't even breathed the fresh air today. You know, I stood in, get my stuff together, and get my thoughts together because I couldn't sleep last night. It's one of them days where your mind keeps running and running and running and running and they don't stop. And this morning, you know, what I was thinking on this morning, my sister called me Excuse me, y'all. One of the mics fell. This morning, my sister called me and she was talking on this. It's crazy because it's like, that's my own, I love all my sisters. And to me, I don't believe in that half sister, half brother stuff, I don't believe in that. I believe you're born from one mom, then you are full brothers. Half is when you be born with another mom. That's the way I think. Because mom is only one. Father, anybody. But, wow. So I'm going to start, y'all. I'm going to start on my childhood, right? So when I was a kid, right, I was raised, my mom was a real struggling woman. I don't blame my mom a lot. I used to, but I forgave all that, and I put all that behind me. I don't blame her because she was raised 10 times worse. She didn't know no better. She had no control. You know what I mean? But one thing that I do give my mom, she will run the world. She will run all the way across the world to keep us safe. I ended up in New Orleans, in North Carolina, Puerto Rico, anywhere she had to do to keep us safe, man, and make sure that we had a roof over it. But what was happening, she had no control, man, that she didn't know no better. She got raised being backslapped, she got raised being kneeled down, so she passed that off to us. Our punishment was being kneeled down, while my mom and my step-pop built the puzzle. And me and my sisters, we'd be kneeling down in the road, sometimes for hours. That was our punishment. Sometimes for hours kneeling down without resting. And sometimes it even got worse. They started putting rice. Kneeling down for rice for 2 hours. You try it. Our whoopings was like with a station court. Or maybe getting a stick broken over your head. Or maybe with a knuckle fist. Bam, from the back to the front. Ring your whole head off. Or maybe being backslapped with the knuckles. Or maybe one of your uncles getting called through and box you the fuck out. Excuse my language. Beat you up. Those were my punishments. So then when I grew up the person I was, they asked themselves, this man is not gonna never be nothing. He's this, he's that, he's evil, he's that, he's a madman, he's this, he's that, he's a menace, what? Y'all made me that way. So why is y'all scared now? I took all that anger and I turned it into the streets. Thanks, good Lord, I never had to put nobody in the dirt. My respect was that strong. Sometimes I would catch people looking at me and they would switch their face as soon as I look. That's how serious I was and the evil person I looked at. You could tell just by looking at me. So I took advantage of that. I never had to shoot nobody up. Maybe I shot up corners and did whatever I did, but I never had to put nobody in the dirt. Most important, I never took nobody's family. Or nobody's father, or nobody's brother. I never did. I ran the streets a different way. And that's why I got that little love out there. And that's why I was able to walk those streets without looking over my back. And that's how I was able to be an addict and walk in them streets without worrying about who's gonna jump out on me. And who QP that I took off with, or who half a joint I took off with. Because I did plenty when I was using. But I built that friends out there. I built that love that ain't nobody cared at the time. But anyway, man, I'm here to talk about my kids. I'm here to talk about my childhood. What made me like this. A little bit, so y'all can have a little bit of what I'm going to talk about on Saturday. Because I'm going to really go in. I'm going to go in real deep. And a lot of A lot of y'all not gonna like it, including my family, my most close family. But yeah, man, that's how I lived, my whole life, being abused. My punishments, my struggle, and so I was always on survival mode. Always on survival mode. I'm still on survival mode today. Consistent, 24 hours a day. Never let my guard down. I think that's why I made it so far. I choose life. I could have been paid out there. Who knows? You know, I used to be the type person, I go fall off and then come back and you still trying and run over you with a BMW. Yo, what's going on? You know, and fall off again and get back up again. You know, I got tired. I choose life. And that's how I ended up broke. And I start using, and I start doing everything I did. But my childhood, man, my childhood destroyed me, man. It's taking a big toll on me today. And the more sober I get, because I don't think I've ever been this pure in my whole lifetime. I don't recall myself being so pure like this. So clean, so pure. No substitutes, no none of that. Because I always took a pill or something or smoked some weed, you know, whatever. You know, but this time it's different. I never walked with the Lord for real, and actually doing it. And I've been to churches, but maybe for like 1-2 times, and then I don't even go no more. This is real, man. It's the work, man. I feel like God had this all lined up with me. So I start thinking all them times, I've been through so much stuff, and I come out of there without a scar on me. And all these shootings and everything, I come out without nothing. That's what make me think God has something for me, man. God has something written out for me. You know, and that's what gives me more. Yeah, man, my childhood, man, was real bad. I'm not gonna keep saying that, so I'm gonna get to it. You know, growing up, man, at 6 years old, my mother, she would be out working in a club or something. Excuse me, y'all. I don't know what that is. Okay. So yeah. Oh man, come on, man. My turn. So yeah. My mother, she would be out, you know, in a club. That's what I remember. She used to go out with my aunts and them, and she would be dressed and we'd be left alone. So I watched a lot. I watched a lot with my sisters went through. I was always consistent, the bad kid, Hatong. So they call me Mouse because I used to eat all the stuff out the floor and always running around and so dirty and looking raggedy. So they call me that. But they made an evil person, man. So they used to pass me around. All my cousins, they would bully me. Or like I said, their favorite thing was hit me with their knuckles in my head. You know, I would be running around in the streets. So you know, they would bully me. And one of my most things, when I would act up real bad, they'll call my big uncle, the big one of the family. At the same time, he was my godfather. He gave me a lot of love. He gave us a lot of love, period. But also, you know, he was the one that I looked up to. I grew up looking up to. He was always the one with the fancy cars. He was the leader. He was the young one, but he was the leader. And that's how I wanted to be. And he would come through and I will not say he would really abuse me, but he would man me up. You know, he'll give me a couple body shots or whatnot. But he would give me the same treatment though. They would take me over to their house because I would be so bad. What hurt me was that they would give me a whole different treatment. Of course, than they would give their kids. I'll probably be kneeling down while they was bagging up some weed. Excuse my language. And I'm probably like 5, 6 years old. So, they got a box, a cardboard box, and they bagging up weed. Back then it was them yellow envelopes. I remember, man. I'm going back 30, almost 40 years. 40 years back. Back then, like I said, with them yellow envelopes. And I'll be right there, man, kneeling down. While they just watching TV, smoking their joints, I'm kneeling down, man. For maybe something I did wrong, stupid. What kids do. And maybe sometimes while I'm kneeling down, they might get up and just swing it from here. Pow! Put your knees down. It's just facts, man. It's facts, and everything I'm speaking is 100% facts. If anything, I might tone it down a little bit. I ain't mentioning no name, but you know who I'm talking to, and I don't carry no grudges. I forgave everyone. It's like I'm the type of person that I grew up to be able to move forward in life. I had to learn how to forgive. And one of the most things that taught me to forgive was what happened with my son. For me to move forward from that and heal and be able to talk about it, I had to forgive the people that murdered him, and forgive myself for not being there for those few months that I didn't see him, sort of put that behind me so I could be able to move forward for my other kids and make it right for them, because it is, so I could make sure that he didn't lose his life for nothing. So something great and greater got to come out of this. For me to break this cycle. For me to break this cycle with my Rivera family that I built. For me to make this right, because I still got time while I'm in this world. And that's my goal. I know I could do it. And I want to show in every way that I can. Not just my mouth, but my whole actions, my walk, my everything. Even the way I talk, even the way I move. Everything completely different. And leave the old me behind complete. So that's what I'm working on. And today having that conversation with my sister and her telling me the way to go at, was like, wow, we really blood on blood. And I don't want to feel no type of way, because I've been supported by all my sisters so strong. I never thought that I would ever have their support like this. But I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful, man. I'm so grateful. I have to say, my sisters have been really supportive, nonstop. No matter what anybody have been telling him, he's never gonna change. He did this before. He gonna be back locked up. He gonna be back in the street. Man, I ain't been to jail in 3 years. You know, I'm done with them streets, man. I'm trying to recover. I'm trying to recognize who I was born to be. The person that God made me to be. It's gotta be a reason. I gotta be here for a reason. I gotta have a calling from the Lord. I got to. Because what he's working is powerful. Very powerful. Man. Wow. It's coming. It's coming. It's gonna be something lovely. Something lovely with the Lord. You know. I'm gonna build that kingdom in God's. I'm gonna build that mansion in God's kingdom. Without a doubt, all the way up here in the mountains. Yeah. I'm gonna break that cycle, man. I'm gonna leave an impact. That's my goal. And y'all don't even see it yet. Y'all don't even get it. This story's out there that ain't even close to mine. And I know a lot of y'all watching right now, and I hope y'all are, and a lot of my family members watching, that is real and it's true. This cycle, man, gotta break, yo. It's not cool. It's not cool us carrying the pain that we carrying and the load that we carrying and passing it off to our kids that wasn't asked to be here. It's not their fault. I'm done with that. I'm breaking that. My kids didn't ask for this. So I gotta work on myself. I gotta break that. So that I don't want to keep passing it off. And seeing my 30-year-old, where he's going through, that he ain't even really live out there in them streets. And seeing him sort of reliving sort of my life, man, it's damaging me. I gotta break that. And I'm trying to teach them that I am gonna break it, because no one believed in me. No one believed that I get this far. Even on the YouTube, on everything. No one even believed that I get this far. You know, I sat down with a pastor the other day. Like I said, y'all, this ain't something that I'm talking about. I'm just giving y'all a little, a little bit about my childhood and a little bit about period, so y'all can have a clue about what I'm going to talk about. Yeah, I'm going to start my story starting from when I was a child, where everything started. So get ready. I ain't cutting down nothing. This is my story. I ain't mentioning names, but I ain't cutting down nothing. I'm walking with the Lord, and God got me. It's a wrap. I'm gonna break the cycle. In Jesus' name, it's gonna be big, man. I know it is. Maybe a book. Ain't no maybe. I'm sick of that maybe. I don't do maybes. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get there. I'm going there. I know. And I'm gonna share it with my family. I'm gonna show them. But most important, I'm gonna do it for myself. This is mine. This is for me. This is what's gonna make me who I wanna be. This is what's gonna make me find myself. It's going back to my childhood. Go all the way in there deep. Well, I didn't even think I could go that deep, but my sister opened it up. My sister brought it back alive. We talked on the phone for like 2 hours. She's all the way in Spain. She's up in the mountains herself. You know what's so crazy? That when it was hailing over here, it was hailing over there. Yeah, she called me this morning, and I didn't even tell her the topic. And I ain't even been listening to her messages that she said she left. But she hit it. She hit it strong. And, because I started a lot of my story like when I went to Puerto Rico and everything else. But man, that ain't even what did it. I was already way damaged by the time I made it to Puerto Rico. I was damaged as a kid. Man, where you see a 5-year-old getting kneel down? Where do you see a 5-year-old getting kneel down for 2 hours? Or getting knuckles in their head, lumps in their head, punched in their head? 5, 6 years old, 7-year-old. Where? Please tell me. How was that? That's what I had to go through when I was a kid. Yeah, my whole life, people beat me. Ain't nobody never sat me down and gave me a lecture. Ain't nobody never sat me down and teach me anything, but just beat me. They call me the bad boy. Hatong, little badass. So I became what they wanted me to be. I became what they built me to be. You know, that's who I became, who they made me. And then when I became that, they were so messed up in the head. Man, look, I watched so much, man. Like I said, this come like that. From my uncles to my step-pops. Every one of my step-pop abused me. Every one of them. Straight up abused me. Fuck up, man. Excuse my language. I didn't think I could go in there today. My sister, man, she brung it alive. I've been pacing back and forth all day. Excuse me. Get something to drink. That's why I went on live, y'all, because this video too long. Whoever want to watch and listen, they listen. But this is real talk I'm talking. Yeah. My sister calling me today. She brung a lot alive. She brung a lot of my back. 40 years. She went back like 45 years ago. Damn. Yeah, she went back that far. She went back that far. Like 45 years back. And to my childhood. She said, no, you got to do it right. She said, if you're going to do it, then do it right. She said, if you're going to do it, this is your story. And I know your story. She said, I've been paying attention. I've been fighting with my sisters. I've been arguing with everyone. That they made you who they made you. Because of what you went through. Because of what you went through. Because the walk that you had to go through. The way I was raised. Rivera family. A lot of them, wow. This family is crazy, man. It's crazy. But you know, one thing I'm learning is to forgive and move forward and move on. And this is the way I'm going to be able to heal myself. There's no other way. I do counseling once a week. The guy, he's really cool. He's a young kid. He really understands me. Oh man, excuse me, let me fix this. Yeah, I don't gotta stand. Make sure I'm on. Okay. He's a young kid. You know, and let me fix this camera, man. Come on. Okay. We on. All right. So yeah. Man, he's helping me, man. I do counseling every week. And that's been a blessing. You know, not so much the medication. I've never been so much with taking these mental health medications. I feel like they do more damage to you sometimes than help. You know? I feel like they'll do more damage than help. Seriously. So I tried to take the medication. It made me tired. I like the energy I got. Sometimes I just get dressed and move. I'll be all dressed up. I'm just used to it. People be like, damn, you always fresh. I'm used to it. I got clothes, I got piles of stuff. One thing I never did was sell my stuff when I was using. If anything, I piled up more. because I started boosting and everything. I started hustling. I stopped hustling in the corners. I got too old to get locked up. But anyway, man, yeah, my childhood destroyed me. I'm gonna talk about it on Saturday. That's the topic. I'm gonna start on my childhood where everything started. That was the intro, so that's why we really didn't go in too much. That's why it was a little short. But this time we're gonna go an hour so we could build a little audience. And then after that, it's gonna be clips. A half-hour clip, a 20-minute clip, a 15-minute clip. Part 1, part 2, part 3, like a series. Maybe somebody will pick up my story. Ain't no maybe. Man, I don't know why that maybe stuff is in my mind. Ain't no maybe with me no more. God don't do maybes. He do. He don't do maybes. He do what he do, and that's it to it. Ain't no, it'll probably happen. No, it's going to happen. That's the way God works. And I always live with that faith at the end of the day. I always had that strong faith and that strong consistency that I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to get what I'm going to get without having to take it. Without having to go out there and steal. I was never a person that could go in a store and steal stuff or none of that until I start using. Man, I start using. I used to go in the store, bro. Y'all won't believe me, man. Y'all gonna hear some of the story. Listen, I used to go into a store when I was using now. I'll probably come out with $1,000 worth of clothes. And you'll be like, where is that? Where is that? I go in the bathroom and come out with bags of clothes. You'll be like, hell, how the hell? I couldn't even begin to tell you. I come out with like 5, 6 pair of pants, 6, 7 shirts, and maybe a jacket too. And maybe a pair of sneakers or so. And come out with 2 shopping bags out the bathroom in the mall. You'd be like, how? He came out with nothing. That's what you think. But yeah, man, using, I think that's how I survive out there using, because at first I started taking advantage of my people and the stuff that I built when I was getting money out there. But that would have got me killed. It came to a time where some of them wasn't gonna care if we was friends or not. It would have got me killed. So I had to cut all that off. And I was too old to hustle on a corner and to be getting locked up with these young generation now in the jails. Ain't no respect in the jails now. It's nowhere. Ain't no respect in the street game. Ain't no respect in nothing. Not in the street. You ain't getting. No, them days it's over. Ain't no you making it. No, somebody else is gonna take your post before you even make it. As soon as they see that you made it, it's my turn now. Ain't no. I'm gonna make it and buy a business. I'm gonna do it for 6 months and buy a business. Them days don't exist no more. You're gonna get killed in 6 months and probably less. There's only one way. You put your family in danger, you put yourself in danger, and you're not making it out. Ain't no making it out. Not now. You won't reach 50 playing with the drug game like I did. Or playing with the streets, period. You won't reach it. I was smart. And I'm not gonna call myself smart because I was nothing of smart. I would not be here like this today, in this position, if I was that smart. But I know there's something I did right to survive today and be here today to tell y'all this story in flesh. Most people couldn't make it to this story. Most people couldn't even tell y'all this story to been to the dark places that I've been. Man, I remember one time I went to go cop, and I'm getting money, and I used to switch cars and jump in a hoopty, and I go get this guy that used to go cop for me. And mind you, I had plenty of shit, but I didn't want. I used to smoke some Jekylls. We used to call them Jekylls. Cocaine mixed with marijuana, and I would go and I remember one day I picked him up. This how I know that God had something for me. This would make me, a lot of these things that I went back thinking, this what made my belief so strong. That he got something, he had this written out for me already. Where he got lined up for me, he had it lined up for me already. There was he was gonna make sure that I made it. But anyway, right? So I took him and I picked him up and we in a Pontiac. And I'm in the passenger because I let him drive, and he parks up right in front of the spot and he get out to cop. And this guy come out from across the street from the driver's side. And then there's another guy on my passenger. They using my car as shield to shoot each other up. Right there and then. This guy get out the car, I'm sitting in the passenger. I'm smoking a cigarette, y'all, and I don't smoke on my videos. My nerves are really messed up, man. I'm sorry. I hope y'all, understand. Wow. I'm sitting in the passenger and I see the guy walking across the street. Didn't I tell you don't come out here? This happened on 9th and Huntington in North Philadelphia. So didn't I tell you not to come out here? And mind you, I know these guys, but I'm disguising myself, as a user. So I am pulling up in my Mercedes Benz. They know who I am, so I don't want them to know, So the guy's out copping, I'm in the passenger seat, and this guy come out the driver side, and the other guy is on the passenger side by my door. And I'm looking at him, this guy pulled his gun out. And the other guy's coming across, didn't I tell you not to come out here? Oh my God, and this guy pulled his gun out, and the other one pulled their gun out, and they used my car as a shield. And lit my car up. Both of them. Lit my car up. My car is full of holes all over the door, and the bullets going through, and bullets coming through my door too. And I don't know what I did, but I dug myself under the dash on that floor of that car, and that passenger seat and the floor. And I dug my ass as much as I could crunch myself in there. Here I come. Man, y'all want to hear this story? Y'all want to see me? So, right, I dug myself under the dash, all the way up in there. And these guys are shooting it out, both of them together. At that time, there wasn't automatic weapons, so they just hitting that trigger hard, both of them. Probably like 15 shots each. Wow, that's powerful. So I jumped back up, and I seen they stopped shooting. I jumped on the driver's side, and I took off. They might have think I was the one shooting. My camera fell. Hold up. They might have think I was one of the ones shooting. Little do they know, man. I'm shaking. I made it back to the bull house. I left him walking, and I waited for him, and he came. I told him, man, what the hell, man? What the hell you do? And I started looking at my car, all full of bullet holes. Full of bullet holes everywhere. And I look at the holes, how they was coming in and exiting it out and hitting my door and the passenger. So if I would have stood sitting down on that passenger, I probably would have got hit in my head or who knows where. But I didn't have a touch, not a scar. And I jumped up, I was like, wow. Oh, I took off. I made it there. Like, oh my God. I went straight to a hotel. I didn't go home that day. I never really went home when I was in the drug game. I had like 4 apartments, scattered, everywhere. I was a loner. I was probably here at 1 second, and next thing you know, I'm in another place. So yeah, I start discussing that with him. Like, yo, man, did you see that? Oh my God, you see these bullet holes? And he's like, oh shit, I can't believe this. Oh my God. Right there and then I knew God had something for me. And then my next shooting, I get shot in my back. I get shot in my legs. I had a gun. So I I crawled up under a truck until the shooting stopped because the guys from my spot came out to shoot at them now after the fighting. And I'm hearing all them bullets going off. And I come out of there, shot up, and I got rolled on. And a bottle of Ciroc broken in my head. I still got the scar right here. Yeah. And thanks the Lord that before my friend took off because he couldn't pick me up and he was shot too, I told him to go. I was a little huskier that time. I told him to go and take my gun with him. I told him I was gonna be all right, and I crawled more under the F-150, and I hear the bullets going ting, 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 ting everywhere. You know, and I came out, and they rolled on me, and they broke a bottle in my head, and I still got on my 2 feet, and made it to the hospital to see every single thing I went through and remember every single detail and every single thing until they put me to sleep in that surgery. And when I woke up, I didn't feel alive until they took me back into surgery. And all that made me realize all these times I was untouched. And even if I was touched, God saved me. That bullet that hit my back ricocheted in my stomach and did 4 holes in my intestines. And then the bullet, it landed in my chest, where my mouth, where my chest started, like that, poking out. So when I looked up under myself, the bullet was poking out. I see that bullet poking out. If that bullet would have blew out, it would have blew my heart out. And me go back on that corner when my surgery open, my wound right here open, because they don't do stitches now. They leave that shit open, excuse my language. And they just badge it, you know, with all the gauze. I took care of all that myself. I learned from the doctors coming in. I wanted to do it myself after that. I told the nurse I didn't need her. But the next day, when I got out the hospital, I was on that block. But after that, man, I gave up. And I know that God has something for me, and I start praying. And still through the darkness, I start using. And I got worse and worse. And I couldn't hold on to nothing. And getting locked up every minute. And getting locked up every time, every year. And starting over. And getting sober. And getting back high. And getting sober and getting high and getting sober and getting high, back and forth. And to finally, I just kept praying and crying on it. And for 2 years, for a whole year after my son lost his life, I started using even heavier. And still, I still cried every day. When I went to go do my thing to get my money, because I barely bother anyone. And I wasn't hustling in the streets, and I had a $200 to $300 habit every single day. Every single day, never missed a day. And I had to take care of other people's habit too that I felt bad for, that couldn't take care of their habits. You know? And seeing, and God finally, He brought me out here to these mountains. He worked this way. And after I got sober in the city, because I got sober in the city, upstate New York, in the city where the drugs were still running. And after I got sober, that He seen you up, you going now? Now I'm going to get you up out of here. And that's exactly what He did. He got me up out of my sister's house. Some problem happened, whatever, but He made sure that He got me up out of there. And ended up here all the way in the mountains where we don't know nobody. We didn't plan nothing. All God's plan. In an even worse town where I was really judged. Where the discrimination still run. But the judgment runs stronger. you know? And he took all that and start working. And I sat in my truck every day. 'Cause I don't even drive my truck. And I sat there every day and I'm praying and crying and praying and crying and praying. And he came through, man. And ever since then, man, I knew that he got something for me. And me making it to Atlanta with no money. I had a job I was gonna get. I had a job I was gonna work. I already got pre-hired in Amazon. I passed all the tests. The only thing I had to go do was go and get my badge. That's it. It was a hearing test, a audio test. The guy got on. The guy next to me, his worked. I sat there. I said, Lord, I'm putting this in your hand. If this is meant to be, then we're going to work. I'm going to work. I need it. It's a blessing. I tried this test again and I pushed it through. I got it. The first time I failed, but this time I got it and I got pre-hired. God, I'm putting this in your hand. I need this job. Nope. All I had to do was answer a couple questions. I didn't have to read nothing. I went along with the whole job, with the whole test, and didn't get the job. And that's how I ended up going to that event in Atlanta, Access. And I didn't have $1. And I jumped up when I seen that. It was like a calling on the phone. Oh, I gotta go. I gotta be there. How I'm gonna get there? I don't know. I looked it up. It's Atlanta. Oh my God. God, you want me to go? Make it happen. Man, make it happen. The best trip I ever went on. The smoothest trip I ever been through. The best event I ever experienced. And when I came back, I got attacked. When I came back, I got attacked. I got rolled by a brute at the fight. 50 years old fighting a group of kids. 50 years old fighting a 25-year-old. And then trying to get rolled on by a whole group of kids and me standing up to them because I am who I am at the end of the day. I'm going to defend myself, and regardless of how much I avoided, I walked off and the boy tackled me. And I guess I started getting over him and he tackled me again. And I went out there and I started pacing back and forth and I started talking to the Lord and asking God, what happened? What did I do? What happened? Why am I going through this? Why don't I have no food? Why don't I have no money? Why don't I have a job? Why am I going through all this? You know what he said? To make you stronger. So when I went upstairs, I got on the phone. I swear, y'all not going to believe this. I got on the phone and this message popped up. What the hell? Let me watch. It just came on by itself, a short. God has never left you. God is still there. God is working. You think he left you? He never left you. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, is you serious? If you think he's not living, you think you this, you think everything. I was like, oh my God, yo, this not, you serious? Yeah. Wow, that powerful, man. That powerful. I want to thank y'all, man, for the support y'all been giving me. I hope that when I do go into my story, that a lot of my family members don't get offended, because it's the past. This gonna help me set my own self for free. Maybe you'll set yourself free. Maybe it will help you understand. Maybe you'll understand how your kids might feel. Because maybe you put your kids just as well through the same thing. in your own way, you know? So I just hope that none of my uncles feel offended for what I'm gonna say, because I'm gonna say the truth. This is my story, and I forgave, but I gotta get it out of me. This how I'm gonna leave all that behind and pick up the peace, and drop the pain and the scars and all that, and put that up and pick up my peace and walk with my peace, because I need my peace, man. I've been on go, man. I looked in the mirror the other day. I was telling my sister today. I looked in the mirror today, the other day, and for the last couple days, and I said, wow, I look worse than I was using drugs. At least that's what I think. I'm skinny. My clothes don't even fit me right. And even though I'm starting to use this loose clothes that's coming out now, that I had, that now I'm finally being able to put it on and getting myself a little more comfortable now in these loose clothes again. Because it was the same thing when they start wearing the tight clothes. You have to start getting comfortable with that tight shit, and now you got to switch back to the loose that they got in these stores. But like I said, man, I got piles of stuff there. Man, I still got sneakers there that I ain't even use. I got at least like 4 pairs of sneakers I ain't even use, or I probably used them one time. Like these, look, I had these since 2023. Oh, yeah, the end of 2023 I bought them, and I had them there since. I only wear them one time. They was a little tight on me. I ain't like the way they fit me, and I just put them on today. Like that's, a lot of my old stuff. I haven't bought stuff for at least like a year, honestly. Cause like I said, at the same time I was building my stuff, and as I started to get clean, I had a strong habit, of doing what I was doing. So not only did I have to leave the drugs, but I had to leave my habits too, and everything else. And, so I had to work on a whole lot, man. I've been working for 2 years, recovering myself, and I still got a whole lot to recover. Man, I'm telling you, I'm so broken, man. I hope y'all can bear with me, man. And I hope y'all understand where I'm coming from. And I don't want nobody to feel sorry for me. God got me, man. Just be real. If you're gonna support me, then support me. If you're gonna be there for me, then be there for me. Don't judge me for who I was. Judge me for who I'm now. For who I am now, for the person that I became, for the person that I am, the person that I was born to be, that God is bringing back. This is all God's work. This is all the Lord's work. Only God could do this type of work. Nobody else. I never thought that I would ever be talking like this, yo. And really mean it. Only God could do this work. I couldn't do this by myself. I put this whole load on God, and He's been doing it with me, together. It takes the both. It takes for me to follow, and for Him to do the work. But yeah, man, that's a little part of what I'm going through. I'm not gonna keep y'all for too long. I know I start talking about one thing, and I start talking another. But this is what this is about. I'm getting y'all prepared about what I'm gonna do. So I'm giving y'all a little bit of everything, of what I'm going through, so y'all can have a good little clue of what I came through, and where I come from. Like I said, I'm born in North Philly. I was born in Episcopal Hospital. I was raised as a kid. I was raised around 6th and Jefferson, 6th and Oxford, 4th and Berks, 3rd and Berks, all that area, everywhere. And trust me, it was not easy. To be here today, I've been through a lot of darkness. And I watched a lot of dark stuff with my family, with my sisters, with my brothers, with my nieces, with my nephews, with my cousins. I don't so much involve my cousins, but they was in it too. You know, a lot of us, we grew up together. My mom, she was so close to her sisters, that we was always all together. So we kind of been through the same thing. Just everyone a little stronger than others, like me. A lot of it people don't think. What made me like that? What made me the person that I became? What made me Hatong that they call me? You know? What made me that mad, evil person that was always in jail and always in the street and such a mad, evil person? It was their work. My uncles, my stepfathers, the abuse. My mother, I don't blame my mom so much. You know, I forgave my mom. I'm gonna be honest, at my mom's funeral, I was high as a kite, but it was because I was so mad. I was so angry. And seeing my stepfather there, but then having to accept it because it's my little brother's father. So I had to eat that up. But the whole time I wanted to beat him up for the abuse that he put my mom through. And for me watching him beating my mom over and over. Just like my other stepfather. For me watching him beating my mom and taking advantage of my sisters. When I seen that man as an older, I wanted to eat him alive. You know, I learned to forgive him. I forgave him, and that's what kept me going. Because I ran into him every day. I had a business around there, so I would run into him every day, and me learning to forgive him, really helped me, you know. But I had to forgive him to move forward, because every time I see him, especially if I was a little high or drinking or something, forget it. All I had to do was tell one of the young boys, they would have destroyed them, you know. Or me, myself, I was a me person. I wasn't the type of person to send nobody. I was a me, one-man soldier. Yes, and everybody knows it. I wasn't that type of person. I'm a loner, and I always was. You know, yeah, my uncles, man, my stepfathers, they destroyed me, man, and my uncles too. My uncles too. I mean, I got more than others. I got more bad. I don't know how to put it, but than others, you know, cause more damage than others, you know. One of my uncles might have gave me that father figure, that no one ever gave me, you know, but he didn't give that same father figure to the rest of my sisters and brothers. You understand me? So maybe I feel like that about him, but my other sisters and brothers don't. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I watched all that, and receiving it just as well was real hard on me, man. You know, watching my sisters and all of us being tortured like that, and being abused that way, as a kid, it destroyed me. And so I wanted to be a leader. I always was a leader. As a kid, I was always a leader. I always led. I was never a follower. I built the kingdom out of nothing. And even when I became big in the streets, I built it with $1, with nothing. Dollar for dollar, $1, $2, $3, $4, $5. Yeah, all by myself. That's one thing I could say. Because everybody was always paying attention to their own, trying to take what wasn't theirs. And you know what I did as I was older? I turned that evilness and that madness into taking what they had and showing them that they made me the person that I was. Sometimes I would be scared of myself, what I could have done if they would have touched me. Because the mad and the pain was overflooded. I'm glad I never did. I'm glad I was able to make it this far, to be able to forgive and put it behind me. But because I remember when I was bigger and I took my uncle's, he had a bar he was running. And I remember when I took it, the first one they went to get was my uncle. The one they used to get for me when I was little all the time. My thoughts was different. My thoughts was, that was back then. Now, it's now. You come my way, and I'm going to take you out of my way, And I thank the Lord that it never came to that. I think it was an understanding. Because at the same time, he was my godfather. And at the same time, he was a loving person. He always gave us that love. He always made sure we were safe. At the same time, he had a lot of good with him. So a lot of that good took over. And that's how I was able to forgive him. And that's how I was able to build the love. And I don't got nothing against him. He made me strong. I looked up to him. He made me the strong person that I became. Regardless of the abuse, he gave me a lot of love. And I watched him give my sisters and brothers a lot of love. I watched him make sure that we were safe at all times. He was their little brother, and he was my mom's little brother, and he took care of us. He made sure that we were safe at all times. If we had to go to Puerto Rico, he made sure that we were there. He even would go visit us there, and make sure that we were good. He always made sure my mom, his little sister, was always great. That's what took over. That's what made me put all that behind me. And I really never looked at him that way. God bless him, though. I love him, Mom. I hope we could build a relationship, man. I hope I could see him one day, and maybe we could look beyond all this and celebrate that we made it this far. That's my goal, man. I want to be able to overcome all this and bring my family together to a get together, and that we could, all of us, just be happy and come together. They started to do it, but then I don't know what happened. I don't know. People start stuff and then they lose their energy. They don't want to keep that powerful feeling, and a lot of people don't want to participate. I give it to my cousin. She tried, and probably she's still trying. I don't know what happened, but I give it to her, man. She's been reaching out to me, and sending me prayers, and when I started finding God, she gave me that hope, and she would send me prayers and give me that hope that I was gonna go where I'm going, and nobody could stop it. And when God opened doors, no one can close them. But yeah, y'all, God bless y'all, man. I'm getting ready for Saturday. It's gonna be good. I'm gonna do the interview with Minister Mary, and we might gonna go an hour, and then after that we just gonna do clips, and I'm gonna give y'all my whole story. So get ready. It's gonna get deep. God bless y'all. Have a good night. Finish. Down. Yeah, went on for an hour.